All right, we are live. So let's go ahead. You said you had some issues with the homework. So,
Yeah, I played with it. I just put everything back to how I had it before I started playing with it before I got home. Just because what I was the stuff that I was switching up wasn't making no sense at all. I was better off keeping it how I left it. So this I kind of realized I was doing a couple things wrong too.
all right, cool. So, hold, hold on. All right, I'm saying you did majority of it right. So let me look through your code real quick. Um, let's see. All right. Number of pages. Author. The title is self.title. Author is self.author. Okay, this. You can get title, return the title, set title. Okay.
Okay.
And okay. Cool. So far everything that I'm seeing is correct. Non-fiction dot output. Okay. So on your dot output functions, the first thing that I'm seeing, so line 16, line 18, line 20, and line 22.
Correct. Okay. Because yeah, when I tried running it, it mentioned that the output value wasn't defined.
Right. So you pass output with parameters, but you define output to take no parameters.
So no parentheses.
No, you're gonna need parentheses because it's a function. So a function can take no parameters at like it can have zero arguments.
Got you.
So that's
Okay.
what you have here. It doesn't take any arguments. So you don't need to put one life Harry Pete in 678. You just need to call the output.
Okay. Because when I was running it, when I didn't have it filled in, it kept on saying no output not defined. So I'm like, should I put some information in that's gonna, give her some information to look at?
Right. No, you're cool. So let's go ahead and fix that one first. Let's go ahead. Yep, fix all those outputs, and then let's start from there. Okay. So let's run that, and that should be right.
Hold on, man. This shit run.
All right. Books has no attribute called output. Line 16. None. Done. I see. So you have your indentions messed up. So,
Okay.
so what I want you to do is I want you to highlight line six through line six through line 12 right there. Now I want you to hit tab and okay, go hit control Z. All right, now we're just going to do it one by one. Go go on line six and and in front of the D, hit space. All right, and do the same thing for 9 and do the same thing for 11. All right, now hit save and let's run it again. There you go.
Okay. All right. I was on the right page then.
Yeah.
Because when like the dent situation, dude, I was fucking like this whole, what is it called? What is it called? You got the object. What's the other word for it?
Class.
The class. I was, man, adding stuff and deleting stuff, so my format got messed up, and I know I had kind of had too much event on some things, and I had it was weird, but you helped me out. I was on the right page, man. I was stressed out. I was like, I ain't about to do shit until we figure this out.
All right, cool. So, um,
Man, I'm glad that worked, bro. Cause I was, man, you don't know how far I thought I was behind. I was about to delete everything.
no, it's all good. Yeah, but no, you're doing real good. You're doing real good. That's just gonna take practice. You know, you're
Yeah.
gonna just keep doing
But
it over.
this part right here, it's like this class part right here. I'm kind of getting that really installed in my head when kind of starting with an object and now making the class. It's the bottom part that I gotta get that scamped also.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. Okay, cool. So today, what we're going to work on in the second part of the class is what's called inheritance, parent and child classes. So you know how to make a class, and let's go back to our vehicle example. There, yeah, perfect. So you know how I was describing yesterday. You can have different types of vehicles, right? You can have a motorcycle, you can have a car, you can have a truck, you know, you can have a bicycle. All these
Correct.
types of vehicles.
Correct.
But all vehicles are going to have the same type. They're all going to have number of wheels, seating capacity, maximum velocity, right?
Correct.
So I want you to get rid of um, type of tank.
In all places.
Yeah, you can get rid of type of tank in all places. And get rid of that extra comma too.
Are we going to be replacing this, or are we just eliminating it? Period.
We're just eliminating the period
Okay.
just to make it simpler.
That should be it.
All right. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Cool. So I want you to underneath pass on line 14, we're going to start a new line. And we're going to create a new class. So you got a picture? Yep. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to make a new class that's going to represent an electric car. Okay. Yep. An electric car will all be one word, and it's going to be called it's going to be what's called camel case. So that first C in car will be capitalized.
Got you.
And that's how you're going to differentiate. It's how you know. That's how you name classes. So
Okay. What did you call? You said camel what for this?
camel case.
Camel case.
Yeah, or my bad, hump case, like a humpback.
Got you.
And so each word, the first letter will be capitalized. Now, outside of the word car, we're going to put some parentheses. And inside of those parentheses, we're going to put the word vehicle, capital V. And then we're going to put our colon. And then we're going to put our pass on the next line. All right. So what we just did is we created a new class called electric car that inherits from vehicle. So in object-oriented programming, there's this concept called inheritance, which basically says you can make a class and then you can make children classes. So just like how you inherit things from your mother and your father, like your looks and personality, et cetera, you can make an object that inherits from another object. So all of the methods that we defined in the vehicle class are automatically inherited in the electric car. So this automatically has an output function. It automatically has a get number of wheels function, and it automatically has the set number of wheels function.
Got you.
So
hold on. So this is a okay. I got you.
So now if we can do two things. We can either just use the default functions or we can edit those methods if we want them to do specific things for that class. So what I want to do is we're going to define an init function, just like how we did with vehicle, and it's going to take the only thing it's going to take is seating capacity. And
hold on. For the init, are we putting that before pass or after pass?
It's before pass. So pass is the end of the class definition. That's how it knows we're done with that class.
Okay, so you was mentioning we're going to be placing in. Are we going to be do we have to place in self?
Yes.
Okay. And then we just breaking it down: wheel capacity, seat capacity, maximum volume.
So what we're going to do is it's going to take in self, is going to take in seating capacity and maximum value. That's it, not number of wheels. And then it's a function, so we need to put the semicolon at the end of the parentheses. Right. So now we'll go to a new line. And what we're going to do is we're going to call our parent class's init function. So our parent class is vehicle, right? And we're going to call its init function. So dot init, hit enter. Okay. And then that's going to take in self. No, you got to put the, it's a function. So remember, you got to do the parentheses. So it's going to take in self. It's going to take in, put in the number 4, because remember the vehicle init takes in number 4.
Gotcha.
And then comma, and then pass in seating capacity, because we're basically just going to pass in the variables directly to the init function. So seating capacity. No, you like literally put in the word, the variable. We're just going to pass in that variable that we're taking in. So in our function, yeah. And then we're going to pass in maximum velocity.
And let's see. So my question is, so for the 4, right? What's the 4 defining? Just the number of seats or the wheels?
It's where it's the so look at the what do you think? Look at the init definition in the vehicle class. What is the second variable that you're passing in on line 2?
Number of wheels.
Right. So
Okay, so instead of spelling it out, we're gonna just put 4.
so we know that electric cars, we know all cars have 4 wheels, right?
Okay, based off the
So
structure that we
because
created.
right. So we know that we don't have to put in 4. We're creating another class called electric car. We know all cars are going to have 4 wheels. So we're just setting that in. You get what I'm saying?
Got you.
All right. So now let's make a. You don't need a semicolon, or you don't need a colon right there. Mhm. Now we're going to make a new function, and we're going to call this function drive. We're making a function. How do you define a function? And we're going to call this drive. And it's not going to take any arguments, so blank arguments. And and the actual code is going to be, so put your semicolon because we're defining the function. All right. Now we're just going to print the word broom. No.
Actual print.
Yeah, so print, and then we're going to put in there a string. So print takes a string, and we're going to say vroom, VROOM, like vroom vroom.
VR what?
VROOM,
Okay.
and that's a string. So highlight it. Let me show you a shortcut. Highlight that word, and now put a quotation mark.
Okay.
All right. So now on line 21, instead of making a vehicle object, I want you to make a electric car object.
On 21.
Yeah. So instead, no. You don't have to make a new line. Instead of Tesla Model S equals vehicle, you want it to be Tesla Model S equals electric car. Now, that electric car, we don't need that number 4 there because remember, we're already setting the number of wheels.
Correct. So we can delete that out.
You can also delete the word electric because we got rid of type of tank, remember?
Got you. We already categorized it to electric cars, right?
Well, we don't even need the type. Like, I'm just removing that because it's kind of useless for what we're doing. All right. So get rid of the word gas on line 22. Get rid of that argument. And all right. You can get rid of lines 23 and 24. Okay. And we can. So on line 26, instead of printing output, I want you to print drive. And then I want you, and underneath drive, then I want you to print output. So you should have print Tesla Model S drive and then print Tesla Model S dot output.
So you said print. What's the second line you said?
You can just copy line 27 or copy line 28. And you can just print it again, paste it and change it from Ducati Model 750X to Tesla Model S. Now save that, and I want you to run the code. Drive takes zero positional arguments. Line 26. What? Go back to go back to drive takes zero positional arguments, but one was given. Mm. Put self in line 18. It takes in self.
Okay, okay.
All right, now save and run it. All right, get number of wheels 4, get number of wheels 2, right? So that so it prints the number of wheels. So 4 and 2, that's correct. It then prints room, which is correct. Uh, dot output. It shouldn't be.
We
Hold
didn't
on.
put nothing, right?
I'm trying to see where none is coming from. Underneath room it says none, and I'm trying to figure out why. On the terminal. Go back to the terminal.
Yeah, I see that. I'm trying to see if we.
But all right, we'll figure that out in a second. But the important thing is notice how the Tesla Model S you did the output and it's the same format as the Ducati, right?
One, 1 second. So you saying that we put the Tesla Model S as the same format as the Ducati?
So line 27, you're doing the output function on the electric car
Correct.
without having to define the output function because it inherited from the vehicle class.
Got you.
Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So so do you understand why you would want to inherit and make a new class?
It saves you time.
It saves you time, but also like what is the benefit of doing it, right?
So basically, when you got a class and then you trying to define, hold on. So repeat that again. What's the question?
What is the benefit of creating a child class?
Oh, that it inherits all the structure that you already created.
So yes, so
So
that's
you,
part of it, and also it allows you to expand functionality. So, like I said, an electric car, a vehicle can be any type, right? But if you have an electric car, you're going to have a drive function versus if you have a bike, you might have a pedal function, right? But they
correct.
still have the same number of wheels. They share common traits, but it allows you to expand the functionality based on your use case without having to change your parent class.
Got
You
you.
can put all the stuff that has in common, put it in the parent class.
1 second. Okay, that's understandable. So one thing. So you remember how you said we switched the we took Ducati out, put Tesla Model S for output.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that output instead of we having Ducati? Now it's presenting the Tesla. What information output is that trying to present now since it's not Ducati no more?
So let's look at the output function, right? It prints out an F string and it grabs the number of wheels, the seating capacity, and the maximum velocity, right?
Got you. So that helps that information gets translated through.
Right. And if you remember with the electric car, we're not passing in the number of wheels. It's our we're like when we define it that we're just passing that in through the parent init function.
Got you. Okay, I got you now. So with the what having that, hold on. Okay. All right, I'm on the same page now.
Cool, cool, cool. All right. So you have so these are all of the basics, like core basics of Python. So what we're going to do is we're going to go do some overviews. We're going to go over everything we went over from the control structures to the dictionaries to the classes to the loops, and then we're going to write a couple programs, and then from there I'm going to show you how to work with packages. So there's a lot of pre-made stuff that you can import into your code without having to write it off from scratch.
Got you.
And then you can also make your own packages and then distribute them out into the world.
Oh wow.
So let's see. What is that 30-minute mark? All right, cool. So let's make a new file. All right.
We're gonna call this.
Uh I'm trying to think what we can do. It's called overview or review.py.
Overview.py.
No, review. All right. So what we're going to do. All right, we're going to. Hmm, give me a second. Let me come up with something. Okay, cool. So we're going to write a program that is going to simulate like an inventory system, right? So when we run the code, when we run the program, it's gonna ask us to put in um, some information about an item, like the name of the item and how much it costs. Okay. You following me so far?
Yeah.
All right. After you put in the information, it's then going to output everything you have on the list. Okay.
Got you.
And if you type in the word quit, it will end the program.
Okay.
All right. So you following me so far?
Yeah.
All right. So this is how we're going to do it. The program is going to run inside of a giant loop. Now, remember I was talking about infinite loops, a loop that just runs forever and ever and ever?
Yeah.
Right. So this is going to run forever, and unless the value that we put in equals quit. All right. So the value equals quit, then we will end the program. Otherwise, it'll just keep running. So we're going to create a class, and we're going to call this class item. All right. And an item has a name and it has a price. That's it. Okay. And then it'll also have a function called, output that will print an F string saying the name of the item and how much it costs. Okay.
So we got.
Wait. Don't type anything. I don't want you to do any coding yet. So first thing I want you to do is we're going to make some comments and we're going to write out the algorithm in comments first before we write the code. So you remember how to do a comment?
Yep. Hashtag, right?
Yep. All right. And so your list of items. So here's your list, your to do. Create a class called item. Okay. That an item has a name and an item is ITEM.
ITEM.
Mm-hmm. All right. So items will have a name. So put a new line and put another comment. So items have a name and they have a price. All right. The item also has a function called output that prints the name and the price.
Item also has an output that what?
It has item has a function, has a method called output that prints out the name and the price in an F string.
That spits out the price. Calculates the price. What you say for the price?
It spits out an F string that has the name and the price. So like this is an orange for $1. Oranges cost the some string. All right. Cool. All right. Now on the next line, we want to run a loop that will take in run a loop. No. This is still comments.
Oh, okay.
All right. And then on the next line, we're going, and this is still comments. Okay. We're going to take in input from the keyboard. For the asking for the price and name and price. And if the user types in the word quit, exit the program.
So for that word quit, do we gotta capitalize it? Anything special?
No. And then other next line, put otherwise print out all the items thus far.
Print all the items that what?
Thus far. All right. So cool. So this is going to be the layout of the program. So we're going to create a class called item. Item will have it. What we're not typing yet. Item will have, and it's a init function. It's going to take in a name and a price. It's going to set those to the attributes. And then we're going to have a while loop that's going to run forever. So, and then we're going to take in the input. If we type in the word quit, we exit. Otherwise, we're going to grab the input, the name and the price, create a new object, add that object to an array so we can hold everything. And then we're going to print out everything in the array. Does that make sense so far?
A little bit.
Okay. All right. So let's start with the first thing. We're going to create a class, and we're going to call that class item. So let's go ahead and do that. And remember to capitalize your classes. Okay. Remember, put your pass. All right. Now we want to define our init function. You need a space. And it's going to take in a name, and it's going to take in a price. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then also remember, it's the init function, so it takes in self as well.
Got you.
All right. So no, you had it right. You need to indent one more. All right. So we want to set self.name to name and self.price to price. All right. And now let's make define a method called output. And check your indentation. And that's not going to take any parameters except for self. I'm sorry. It's always going to take self. All right. And
Always.
yeah, always. And we will you want to make a message variable that's going to hold string. And in fact,
Go ahead. What you say?
you don't need those parentheses. You do need another quotation mark though.
And then fill it in.
So then we're gonna make a message. The just put like the self dot name. So remember how you put the variables? No. You put the variable self dot name.
Okay, I got you. Self dot name is name.
No. Yeah. No. Just self dot name is self dot price. So remember, it's a variable, so you have to wrap that in the braces.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We gotta basically install the message with the variables inside the curly brackets, right?
Yeah, so just highlight self dot name and put it that in a bracket. No. You want to say self dot name at the very beginning. You need to put self dot name inside of brackets at the very beginning.
Got you. Okay.
All right. So self dot name is self dot price.
Is self dot price.
Yes. Awesome. So now you're done with your class. So let's go to the bottom of the script and let's write our actual logic. So now we want to run a loop. So we're going to run a while loop. If you remember how to run a while loop. It was a minute. All right. I'll remind you. Go back to the code. We're going to type the keyword while, WHILE, and then parentheses. And we want this. Remember, a while condition takes a Boolean, a true or false, right? So we just want this to always run. So we're going to run while true, capital T.
While true.
No, you already have the word while. Just put the word true. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to put the colon. So basically, while true will always be true. Right. So it's going to run forever.
Got you.
So let's go to a new line. Now we're going to want to take input from the keyboard. Now I'm about to teach you a new method, a new function that you can use in your code. We're going to set this equal to a variable. Well, you have a lot of back. I'm echoing. Do you have me on speaker?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I hear an echo from me talking.
No, you should be good.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So we want to set the input to a variable, right? So the first thing we're going to be asking for is the price, or my bad, is the name. So let's make a variable. We're going to call it name. And we're going to set that equal to this function called input. Now the input function, PUT, it takes in a string that is the name of the string that's going to be shown to the user on the screen. So we're going to ask, what is the name of the item? And remember, there's going to be a string. So, and we're going to ask the question, what is the name of the item? And then we're going to make another variable. And we're going to call this price. And I'm assuming, and you can probably guess what we're gonna have that, set to.
What is the price of the item?
Yes. All right. So next thing we want to do is check to see if name or price is equal to the word quit. Actually, you know what? We're going to skip that right now. We're going to skip that part. We'll add that at the end. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to create a new variable called item, lowercase I. And we're going to make that equal to a new item object. No, you don't have to type the word new. Like, how do you make a new object? We've been doing it this whole time. We have an item object. We want to make a new item. Just like how you did with vehicle, electric car.
Hold on real quick.
Look at line 15.
Okay. So item gonna be equals item.
Mm-hmm. And then capital I. Hit enter. Okay. If you can. Mm-hmm. Now, it takes in. Now, what does it take in as its parameters in the init function?
Oh, the what is it called? The underscore.
No. Look, what does the init
Oh,
function take?
self.
It doesn't take. I mean, self is automatically passed in. Remember?
Self name and price.
Right. So you don't need to put the word self because self is automatically passed in.
Since we're underneath that, right?
Right. So you just need. There you go. All right. Now I want you to go on the next line. I want you to call to.
I don't gotta put parentheses. Quotations.
No, but what I want you to do on line 13, I want you to add a new line. And I want you to print message. So we're going to call the print function within the output function. So we don't have to call print outside. Perfect. All right. So now on line 20, I want you to call the output method on that new item you created. So remember how we call methods? No, you're not defining anything. You already have your item. And then we're going to use the dot notation. So, Nope. We're calling the output method.
So the output.
Correct. And it's a method. And a method is a function. So you're there. You go. Now I want you to hit save, and I want you to run this code. Now, before you run it, what do you think is going to happen?
So base is about to add this new item in there.
Well, right now we're not storing it anywhere. So it's not adding it, but it is creating a new item.
Got you.
And then it's outputting the message. So hit save. Let's go to the terminal and let's run this. And you'll notice that the Clifton Craig said, I see a subtle error. Well, what you see? All right. Okay. So, all right, let's run pi.review.py. All right, cool. So what is the name of the item? So go ahead and start typing. What do you want to call it?
I could type it on the command screen.
Yes, that's what the input method does. It allows you to take input on the screen.
Oh, what
So,
is the name of this item?
so you can start typing something.
Enter.
Yep.
Oh, this shit dope. Okay. 2.99. I can make this for my buddies at the 7-Eleven. 2.99.
All right.
I can
Now
put the
hit
money
enter.
sign too.
Huh?
I could put like money signs. Like, oh no, I can't put money sign, huh?
Read that error.
Line,
Look at the stack trace.
line
So it
19.
says. So I want you to read that out loud.
Line 9. Okay. Line 19 in module item
All right.
equals item price
So line
equals
19 is where through the error, but then what does it say on line 10?
line 10. The init
Mm-hmm.
self dot name equals name is
What?
not defined.
So look at you have self.name equals name E. Look at line 10.
Oh, I see it.
Mm-hmm. Now before you run this again, inside of those two strings that you have on line 18 and 19, put a space after the word item. On
We're here.
on 17 and 18, put a space after the word item in the string. There you go.
Both of them.
Yeah. So it'll give you a space on the command line. All right.
Oh,
Now
I got you.
save, and let's run it again. All right. Now, wait, before you hit enter. So ice cream is two words, right? So if we wanna, I want you to try to put a space in between the word ice and cream. Okay, hit enter. All right. Now I want you to put the price.
I can put money sign or no?
Yes.
Okay. What is the name of the item? Okay, what is the name of the item? Ice cream. What is the price of the item? Ice cream. Ice cream is $2.99. Okay.
And
Now,
now you see how it asked you again. It just went and it asked you again
yeah,
because we're in a while loop, and true is always true. So this is what's called an infinite loop because
so you could
we don't have any condition that will break the loop right now.
got you. So you could keep adding on stuff with prices, items, and prices all day.
That's what we're going to be building eventually. But right now, this is actually not correct because there's no way to get out of it unless you hit Control C. So hit Control C for me. Boom. That knocked you out. So
Got you.
we'll keep it like that for a second. Now the next thing I want us to do. So after we create these items, we want to add them to an array. Okay, so we can actually store the items and remember what we made. Because right now it's not remembering anything; it's overriding. Okay, so right above the while loop, I want you to add a new line above the while loop. All right, now let's make a new array. We're gonna call this a variable. We're gonna call this items with an S. And this is going to be set equal to an empty array. So it's just going to be empty square brackets. Square brackets. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and put a space in between the equal sign and the brackets. All right. So do you remember how to add a new item to the array? You remember what method we use?
I'm not about heart, but I can go back to my notes real quick.
Mm-hmm. So I think it'll be in your dictionary.py. Okay, no, it wasn't there. Oh, wait, that was arrays.py on your to the left. Arrays.py. So
Okay.
we use the append method, right? No, no, you don't copy and paste
No,
because
I'm just highlighting and letting you know I'm
okay,
seeing
okay,
what you're seeing.
cool. So let's go back to our review.py. And so we have our empty array called items, right? On
Mm-hmm.
line 21, or line 20 rather, we're making a new item. So what do you think we should do right there? I want you to get rid of line 21, by the way. We don't, line 21. So what do you think in fixture indentation on line, yeah, there we go. So and after we create the item, what do you think we should do with the item?
Define it.
We don't need to define it. We already defined it and created a new object. It's created right there. So we don't need to define anything. But if we have an items array and we want to store the items in the array, what do you think we should do? You just looked at that append method, and that's how you add stuff to an array. And we want to add item to our items array. What do you think we should do?
Add the items that we want to add.
Right. So how would we do that?
Basically, put them in the brackets. Putting
So
the items.
so we're gonna use that function. I didn't show you that function for any reason, for no reason.
Right.
So what does the append function do?
It basically installs new items that you want to add. Right.
Right. So if we want to add that item to our items array, what do you think the syntax is?
The dependent.
Right. So type it out. What are you appending to? Append is a function of an array. Go back to your arrays.py and look at it. So if num is an array, and on line 2 you're doing num.append, what do you think you should do? If items is an array,
So it's going to be item dot append.
it's gonna be item or items.
Items append, and
Mm,
then whatever item we want to add.
correct, which you just created on line 20.
Okay, so it's going to be
You have a typo on items.
oh shit. Thank you. So inside we'll add item.
Correct. And now we
No cap, right?
no cap. And now the last thing we want to do is we want to loop over all of the items that we have and call the output method on those items. So let's go back to arrays.py. And how are we going to loop over our array?
You said how we're going to loop.
Mm-hmm.
array.
Mm-hmm. So where do you see the loop at on that page? Remember, you have two kinds of loops. We have the while loop, and there's another.
Live streaming is on.
I really don't know because we
So
don't got no
line three is what kind of loop is that? What's the name of that kind of loop? It says it right there.
for loop.
Correct. So you're basically saying for every item in this array. So copy that same syntax. You have for x and num. What is num? Not only to actually copy it, I'm just saying, what is num? What kind of object is num?
It's a number.
No, num is an array that holds numbers.
Got you.
So if you're saying for x and num, and that's going through every item in the array, what do you think we should do with items?
So we can put. Hold on. We can put for variable and items.
Correct. So put that on line 22. And fix your indentation. Mm-hmm. You can call it whatever you want. All right. So now for T in items, we want to call the output method on T. We're not defining anything. We're calling the method. We're calling output on T. Like, walk me through your process right now.
You said we calling the output on T.
Yes, we're if okay. What kind of object is T?
It's an item.
Correct. So we want to call the output method on that item class. If we know T is a form of item and we want to call the output method, how do we call a method on a class?
Let me see.
Look at line 20. You don't need to call print because we're calling print inside our method. But how are you calling that output method?
So basically, we're gonna put. It's gonna be a What is it called? What's the name? What's the name? It's gonna be item or T.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
And we want to call the output method.
So it's gonna be T output with no message, or what is it called? What's that? What is it called?
The parameters.
Yeah, with no parameters.
Yeah, but make sure that. So how do you call that though? So look at the syntax. So you got the T right, you got the output right, but you're missing something in between there.
Dot output.
Yes.
So is it like that?
Let me see. So why did you put parentheses around T dot output?
Because normally when we put output, it's like double parentheses. You got one in the
Right,
inside.
but the only reason we put those parentheses because remember we were calling the print function and we were
Got you.
printing
Yeah.
out. So and we
But we're
moved
not using the print, so we just need one.
correct.
Okay.
And then check your indentations. There you go. So now I want you to save that. And I want you to go back to your terminal. I want you to type, I want you to run the code. All right. So what is the name of the item? All right, chips is 199. Now let's add another item. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, my bad. I'm thinking we were going to make command screen and add another class.
No, we're gonna add another item. Yeah.
Okay, ice cream. We're gonna get some cheese. We need some chips and cheese, man. What is the price of this item? Cheese go about $1.59. Talk about American cheese, not no block of cheese.
Make sure you put your dollar sign to keep. Yeah.
Balling on the budget, man. Balling on the budget.
Funny. All right. Enter. So now you see it says chips is 199, cheese is 159. Let's add another.
Oh shit. Okay. So what is the name of it? I got a question.
What's up?
You probably can't program it to the point where as we typing it in, like say if we got a store, right? And we'd be like, what is the item? Chips, price of the item, this. Would you be able to create an application that can keep storing stuff in there and you building your inventory like that?
Yeah. So typically what we'll do is instead of storing it in an array, we'll store it in a database.
Okay.
But it's the same logic. So I'm just but yes. Actually, if you want, we can that can be the overall project that we do is create an interactive store thing, and we can have it send text messages and emails and all that good stuff. That can be like our final project.
I need to, bro. I need a man. I need to learn that because I'm trying to create my website for my clothing brand. Man, I need to learn that shit.
I got you. All right, cool. So let's add one more item.
Chip, we got chips, cheese, we got some beef jerky. Okay, chips $1.99, cheese is $1.59, jerky is $1.39.
All right. So as you can see through the code, so I want you to break it down. I want you to break down what went on the code.
So basically, it just organized each item that we placed in.
I want you to start from line 8, and I want you to break down each line for me.
Okay, line 8. We basically define an initiative. We giving you the name and the price. So that's going to be basically the class is the name of the price.
Those are the attributes. That's the data of the class. Remember, classes have attributes / data, and they have.
Hold on. Let me write this down. I gotta remember these words. Those some good factors I need to remember. So what is it called again?
You can call it attributes or you can call it data, either or.
Okay. So basically, from the init We got the data, we got the name, the price, and then you go over here. We basically letting self.name know that it's equal to the name, and self.price is equal to the price. And then for our output, we basically sending out the message to the computer saying that we're looking for the name and looking for the price.
We're not looking for.
We need.
We're just telling it. We're just showing out to the user what the name and price is.
Got you. And then
Okay.
we're gonna print the message, and then we go to items with a empty array.
All right. So we're initializing an empty array.
Yeah, and that's basically saying that we're about to add an item, right?
Right, because you want to define it outside of the loop. Because if you define it inside of the loop, then it will be making a new one every time.
Okay.
Because remember, everything inside of the loop is going to run over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
So that name, price, item, you got name equals input, price equals out input, et cetera, et cetera. That's being rewritten every time in the loop. If you don't want it to be rewritten, you need to put it outside of the loop.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Cool. So we're defining we're defining our storage container, which is the array, because that's what we're storing our data in.
Correct.
Outside the loop. Okay, continue.
And then for our while loop, we have name and price for our input, which our message is reading off for our input is for name, what is the name of this item, and for price, what is the price of this item. And then we have item, which has name and price, and then we have items, which basically we can add an item.
Right. So we're appending to that array that we just created, and we're adding that item that we just created.
Correct.
So each time in the loop, the array is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Got you.
And then now describe line 22.
So for line 22, what did I use? So for line 22, what we doing is a for loop, which we using t as the variable. Hold on, I gotta, damn, these little ass lines, but they mean something. Hold on, let's see.
So conceptually describe what's going on. Like, don't try to use the definitions. I just want you, I want to make sure you understand, what is a for loop.
Okay. So for this says we used a for loop to add in the item, right?
No, we added the item above the for loop.
Okay, we added the item for the for loop.
That's what the append is. So all the for loop is saying is we're going to go over every item in the array, for t in item. So if there's 3 t's in there, that's basically saying we're going over 3 times. If there's 4 t's, there's 5 t's. So remember, each time we go through this loop, the while loop, we're adding to the array. We're appending to the array, which means
Go ahead.
Which means each time in the for loop is going to be one more thing in the loop. So the first go around is only going to be one item. So there's going to be 1 t. The second time around is going to be 2 t's. The third
like how we did. So for example, when we read the code, it says, what's the item? We put the item, we put the price. Next you know it's another item.
Right. So after we make the price, we're making a new item array or new item variable.
And is that t basically as we add in a new item?
Yeah. So after we do
okay.
Got you. Then, so because T represents an item object, because remember our array is holding item objects.
Got you.
Right. So let's say that we were holding dictionaries instead. Then T would be a dictionary instead of an item. Or if we had cars, T would be a car. Because that's what we're storing in that array, in that storage container.
Got you. I'm getting it.
And then finally, what are we doing on 23?
On 23, we basically presenting out we're giving out the output of the item that we added. So what it is, what the output of that item that we added, the name and that price, correct? Or no?
Sorry, say that one more time.
So for line 23, what we're doing is we're basically giving the output a T. So if we placing in the name and the price, the output is going to be what we put in, right?
Right, exactly. So we're going through each item in that array, and we're just calling the output on that on those items.
Got you. Okay.
All right. So what parts do you understand the most, and what parts do you understand the least?
Okay. The part that I'm understanding the most is going from the init down to line 14. So going from the init and going to the output and then printing out the message. When it comes down to the while loop, I kind of just got to catch up on the loops, like, while loop, for loop, kind of just seeing it in different type of ways to kind of get the rhythm of how they work. Well, I know how they work, but seeing how, there's different ways to write them.
Okay. Okay.
So I just kind of getting more familiar with the while loop because you introduced it to me a couple times, and then the 4T one, the for loop one, I gotta just refresh my memory, just kind of look over and read more about it. That's what I could say more. Just kind of just read more about it to kind of see what other tricks does it have.
Okay. So where just so I can give you an assignment that's going to be for the stuff that you're struggling with the most. Would you say that would you say that you understand, methods and creating classes, but you probably need some help on the while loop for on the control structures, so loops and if statements?
Yeah, yeah. So kind of basically having the object and then creating the class. I'll say that's the easy part for me.
All right, well that's good because that's a really important part. All right, cool. So here's what I want you to do for your homework. Um, so I want you to create a child class of item. Okay. And I want you to create two children classes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One is going to be called I guess one of them be called food, and one of them can be called um I don't know, something that's not food.
Hygiene.
Hygiene. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So you might put this down in the comments so you can see it. No, 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 no. The comments of your code.
Oh.
So we're gonna create yeah, so create two children classes, one called hygiene, one called food. Hold on 1 second, okay?
Go ahead.
All right, sorry about that. So we're creating two children classes, one called food, one called hygiene. All right. Um, each one of these classes is going to have a new attribute called um, actually we don't even need a new attribute. We don't need a new attribute. But what I do want you to do is I want you to override the output method. Okay. So the default output method, it says the name and the price, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it is a food item, I want the output to say, I want to say, name is price and it is food, or put the category or something. Basically make it say that it's food in addition to the name and price. Okay. And then if it is a hygiene item, I wanted to say that it is a hygiene item.
So for the food, when it says food item, say name and price for the food item.
I mean, they're all going to say name and price. I just wanted to also say what kind of item it is, if it's a food category or if it's a hygiene category.
Okay.
And you're also going to need to ask on the input, you're going to need to ask another input to determine if this is a food or a hygiene item. Okay, so that's it. That's what. So I want you to just modify the script. I want you to make your two children classes. I want you to ask the user, is this a food item or if it's a hygiene item? And depending on what they answer is going to determine what kind of object you're going to create, right? So,
So hold on, repeat that again for me. So you basically sound I'm gonna use the same script but just insert my food and hygiene.
yeah, because remember, you're going to make children classes, or remember how we do the inheritance?
Yeah, correct.
Right. So
All right.
underneath that class, underneath that item class, you want to add two new classes.
Got you.
And then right before you ask for the name of the item, you want to ask them what kind of item it is. And depending on if it's a hygiene or food item, you're going to create a different kind of object.
So basically, like how we did over here for the class and electric car, we added a new class.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. All right. I should be able to figure it out. It's a challenge, but hey, it's my brain is working if it's challenged. So we're gonna see what my brain can spit out. So you say I'm gonna add the new class under items, right? The items loop.
I'm sorry. Say it one more time.
I'm gonna be adding a new class under the items loop, right?
No, not underneath
Oh,
item.
the array.
Underneath pass. So right before, yeah. So after pass, and then check your indentation and all that good stuff, and make another class called hygiene that inherits from item, and do the same thing for food.
Okay. All right. I should be able to get that done.
All right, we're at a minute 29, an hour 29 minutes and 30 seconds. So if you have any questions, I think I'm gonna give you 2 days for this. So ask me. So tomorrow, if you have any questions, I'll have office hours at this time.
Okay.
But I'm gonna give you, because this will probably keep you busy for a couple of days.
Got you. So I'm basically just doing what we just kind of just did today, but inserting food and hygiene.
Yes, and you're gonna be working with some if statements and control structures. And I'm assuming you're gonna have questions. So I want you to do as much as you can today, and then I'll be expecting you to probably hit me up tomorrow around 6:30.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely worked for me.
All right, and just remember, you can head over to my YouTube channel, check out the stream, and see everything. And if you have any questions, bro, just hit me up.
Hey, yeah, they come in handy. Like, I don't even gotta watch the video, but just hearing our conversation kind of just put me in the loop.
Good.
So I'm glad those are included in there because they do help.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. So I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, talk to you tomorrow, and then we'll have our next class on Thursday.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, sir. Have a good one and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, and talk to YouTube later.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.